Hey everybody, it's James from Posture Stars. Thanks so much for coming on again. Today I'm going to be talking to the posture genius himself, Aaron Parnell, who hails from the United States. Hi Aaron, how are you today?
Hello, thank you for having me on.
So pleased to have you. I've heard a lot about you. You've got a great Instagram channel. We've been watching you on there as well. So it's a delight to have you on board. I wanted to get an idea about how you're helping people with posture and some of the recommendations that you can give to people today. So without further ado, Aaron, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and where you work and what you do?
My name is Aaron Parnell. Some people call me the posture genius, and that's my handle on Instagram if you're looking me up. I am a posture therapist, expert, hands-on with the work that I do, and I invented a work called reposturing. It's a standalone technology that's just as viable as Pilates or chiropractic or even yoga. It's got a wide breadth of content and value. So that's about reposturing. And I own a natural health wellness center in Silicon Valley.
Wow, so that's a popular place to have a wellness center, I'd imagine. I'd imagine it's going really well.
Yes. Yes, it's fun work here, and at my center, I have chiropractic, massage, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and of course, reposturing.
Okay, so you're looking after all of those high and mighty peeps from Silicon Valley who are making the world tip now, and you're keeping them going whilst they're building their amazing computer programs.
Exactly. I have quite a few clients who work for Apple, Oracle, Microsoft, and even Google.
That sounds like a great client base. I wish I had a few of those myself. I'll have to poach them from you, Aaron.
Okay, yeah, come on down.
I'll take a trip over any day. For those people listening, I'm in the north of Manchester and it is dark and gloomy at the moment. Aaron is over on the west coast of the US in lovely sunny weather, no doubt, enjoying the best of it. You mentioned yes. that there are various modalities like yoga and Pilates, and they're very mainstream and they're very well known. Reposturing is your own, and I haven't come across that before I came across your stuff on the internet. Perhaps you could tell us a bit more about what reposturing is and how you developed it?
At first, when I was helping athletes in the Olympics in Los Angeles, I was helping them get the best out of their out of the sports performance, either faster recovery, more performance, longer duration of being able to stay in the game and stay sharp. And by the end of the Olympics, I really, something woke up inside of me, and I decided I really like working with people who are trying to get the best out of their bodies. So wind the clock forward, I get out of the Olympics, and I'm starting to work with my clients who came to me to work with me, not only just for sports massage like they did before the Olympics, but they started asking me to work out with them. And I added the exercise and fitness component to the work I was doing on the table. One of my clients is a marketing expert, and 10 years later, he said, Aaron, this stuff is great. I've talked to a lot of your clients. We have them as friends, and we all agree that this is not a regular massage. It's better than sports massage. And one thing that, even though we all get different results, we all agree that our posture gets better. So why don't you call this reposturing? And so that's how the trademark came about. Reposturing is a synthesis of exercises and hands-on treatment, or exercises alone and stretches alone that help to balance your body out. It gives you what I refer to as posture optimization. And what posture optimization is, and I know you were going to get to that question, well, what is it? Posture optimization is the ideal arrangement of your bones. You have 206 bones and 637 muscles, but there is a perfect arrangement for the bones to be in, so that the bones do the work of weight bearing and the muscles do the work of movement.
I hear you there. So when I talk to an ergonomist and I say, what is posture? They talk about posture in relation to a workstation or a job. And from a chiropractic angle, you're coming straight in terms of, here we are, here are your bones, here are your muscles. Let's make sure that they're functioning optimally to give us the opportunity for best posture. Is that right?
Effectively, yes, but there's more to it than that. Posture optimization embraces and encompasses an entire spectrum of how you would use posture. So yes, if you're sitting at your desk, you want to be upright with your head upright and your head level so that your eyes can see directly across at your screen. However, if you're playing golf, there's a different posture for golf. And if you can posture optimize for golf, and you can posture optimize for equestrian sports, and you can posture optimize for just about anything you do. What you want to do is restore your body's weight bearing and force transfer through the bones and not through the muscles. So you don't have to think about it if you have it right. And so that's why reposturing includes the exercises that strengthen the posture muscles that keep you upright, but also liberates and provides flexibility to the muscles that need to move, so that being upright with great posture all the time is easy and effortless.
I'm sold, Aaron. I'm getting on a plane in the next 5 minutes. I'll be with you in 4.5 hours. You can have a session on. You can do a session on me. It sounds great. Well, that's really clear then. So you're working muscularly, you're working skeletally to get people set so that they can apply themselves as best they can to individual situations like golfing, like horse riding, like a lot of our listeners using a computer. So let's drill down on our very first question then, which is such a broad question, but you've got a great angle on it. And my question to you is, what is posture?
Posture is the arrangement of bones that allows the muscles to do the work of movement and the bones to do the work of weight bearing and force transfer. Posture also, without trying to get too esoteric about it, posture can also mean the effective way that you can transmit force to create a result. So yes, indeed, military has posture when they talk about, whether they're going to be set up to go to war or set up to be at peace. They talk about a military posture or a political posture. You can have the posture of fighting, and there's an optimal position for fighting. So posture is more than just you standing up or sitting up straight. Posture is how you arrange your bones to transmit force, energy, and intention.
So a lot of people, when they hear the word posture, they immediately think of a before and after image, and they think that posture is the end, it's the end goal. And here, what we're talking about is that posture is one of the means that you can apply to achieve your goals in life.
That is correct. Absolutely. So Amy Cuddy gave a great TED Talk about how she used posture to transform herself while she was in college. And by changing her posture, she changed who she was, so that by the time she got her degree, she was a completely different person compared to who she was when she started.
If any of our listeners are looking for that, if you look up Amy Cuddy on TED Talk, really, really popular TED Talk there about power postures and how you can improve your life by improving your posture. We're kind of in that area, aren't we, Aaron? We love to improve people's posture.
Yes, we are.
It's such a pleasure when you see people who are struggling with pain and self-image and other life problems because their posture's bad, and then improving their posture, all of a sudden a lot of their issues are resolved and life becomes a lot easier for them. And yet so few people talk about it, because I think posture is such a broad term, and people see it as, do I look like a film star in this photograph or don't I? And they forget that, we have posture to load the washing machine. We have posture to drive our car, and they all have a big impact on how we feel and how much we can achieve in life.
Yes, indeed. In fact, there are comparably as many esoteric manifestations or aspects of posture as there are physical and structural and musculoskeletal. So, in my book, The Slouching Superhero's Guide to Achieving Great Posture.
I love that title.
I talk in depth about each one of these aspects. Of course, yes. Most people come with their interest in posture because they have a chronic pain that they want to alleviate. But there's a posture for self-mastery. There's a posture for beauty. And if you have poor posture, no matter how attractive you are, because posture is a dynamic thing, you can get lost in looking so beautiful, but being clumsy, and you can lose your beauty that way. You can have habits that that detract from your beauty.
Oh, yeah, totally. I understand now what posture is from an Aaron Parnell posture genius point of view. Very good. My second question, which is a larger question, is, so how exactly do you help people with their posture?
Two ways. So typically someone calls me and says, "Hey, Aaron, I've got this ache or pain that nobody else has been able to solve, and I've been to 10 doctors about it. But maybe it's a posture issue. Maybe can you take a look at it?" And so the work that I do with reposturing is hands-on. So I'm typically isolating not only the musculature, but the fascia that goes along with it. There's this thing called myofascial meridians. And if you ever get a chance to look up go to the website anatomytrains.com. Thomas Myers has done a magnificent job at mapping out all the myofascial meridians. So I'm stretching the myofascial meridians as well as the musculature that's adjacent to it, and restoring flexibility and freedom to the parts that are imbalanced by strength. And I'm giving you exercises to make sure that you restore your flexibility and make sure that your body is flexible enough so that having great posture is natural, easy, and effortless for you. What I find is that when people try to think about their posture, then it takes them away from what they're focusing on. Like if you're driving and you're thinking about your posture, that's too much thinking about your posture. I want you to focus on being on the road safely. When you're at work, you don't want to be thinking about your posture. You want to be thinking about your work. And if I'm an employer, I want you to be solely focused on getting your best work done for me. If your posture comes to you effortlessly and naturally so that you don't have to think about it, that's the goal of reposturing.
Great. So it's a bottom-up way of giving people the capacity for good posture by ensuring that physically they're in the right place to enable that.
Absolutely.
I see some people who've worked out a lot who actually, it seems to me that their physical prowess is spoiling their posture. People who have, a great six-pack, but they're rounded over like a pill bug or something like that. Is that something you come across?
Absolutely. In fact, imagine a person who does what I refer to as front-loaded workouts. And that's the person who goes to the gym. They do push-ups, crunches, leg lifts, planks, incline extensions where their chest muscles are pushing weight up. And what winds up happening is their whole body is curled forward. And over time, they're actually causing more problems than they're solving by doing the workout. So very often, if you have people who spend more than 50% of their time working on their front muscles, you're going to have a person who's going to be imbalanced and their back muscles won't be able to hold them upright. And over time, they'll lose what I call their vertical flexibility, their ability to stand upright. And so, yes, this is a big problem, and it's one I hope to be part of the solution for.
Okay, so people who are working out, your suggestion is that they make sure that they're not just front focusing, that they're giving themselves a rounded, holistic workout session.
If your back muscles are weak, you want to make sure you strengthen the back muscles that pull your body upright. And, we've got two sets of back muscles, or I group them in twos. There are some back muscles that pull your body upright. And for the geeks out there, it's the erector spinae group, the quadratus lumborum, and latissimus dorsi to some degree. But then you also have muscles that go across, and these are rhomboid major, rhomboid minor, and trapezius, mainly upper trapezius and middle trapezius, that pull the upper body and pull the shoulders back. So you want to make sure that these muscles are strong enough to do their job so that the shoulders wind up behind your body's midline. And if your workout doesn't do that for you, if your workout pulls your body too far forward, it will never achieve the balance that it's supposed to have.
So assume now that Apple and Google listen to this podcast and they say, "Hey, that James Crowe, he's amazing. We're gonna fly him out to Silicon Valley and we're going to give him a job in one of our offices." And then I spend several years working at a desk or working from my home office at a desk, and I'm so busy that I haven't got time to work out. And I ring you up and I say, Aaron, I'm ruined. Look at the state of me. And I come into your clinic. What would you do with me?
On a first session, we'll take measurements, photos, and video of how your body is when you come with us. Of course, we do an initial consultation where I want to know your life story. Were you involved in a sports? Which sport? Did you have any car accidents or injuries that might affect how your body is today? And I put all of those into a composite of a treatment plan. And the hands-on treatment might involve unraveling the legs so that they fit better in the hips, or opening up the rib cage, restoring the expansiveness of the rib cage and shoulders. So it looks like somebody is doing a facilitated stretch, or it's like somebody's doing yoga to you on a treatment table in a much more specific way, a much more personalized way than say a Thai massage might be, where they have routines that they do, but they're not specific to create a result that's structurally specific.
Oh, I know. I had a Thai massage about a year ago. I had a few. I really enjoyed them. And the first time I went, it was a one-size-fits-all massage. And I swear they nearly broke me. I came out of there absolutely destroyed. So it's glad to see you taking someone's history and taking note of how they need to be helped. A lot of people nowadays, they're working from home more often. If someone wanted to take advice from you and they were working from home, they weren't able to come into your clinic, how would you help that sort of person? Is that something you can do?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have. There are two things that I have. I have a free workout that's specific for people who want to improve their immune system, and so that will help you a lot. If you go to my website, theposturegenius.com, just click on and order the Superheroes Startup Boot Camp. But if you want to help your posture, especially if you sit for a living, then order my workout that's called 22 Days to Great Posture Boot Camp. And every day you get one exercise to do 2 or 3 times, and each one of the 22 exercises improves your posture in some specific way. Some are flexibility, some are strength. But what winds up happening is you keep doing these, and your posture gets better and better and better, to the point where you're just about your maximum vertical height that you're supposed to have, and you have the freedom you're supposed to have.
When you talk about this, the first thing that comes to mind when I hear a lot of experts speaking is they talk the walk, but they don't walk the walk. Do you follow through? Do you do your own exercises? It's something that you take time to do?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, I'm going to be teaching a class right after this. In addition to my own teaching a class, what I find is that if I have an ache or a pain or something feels kind of stuck and not moving, I know the specific exercises to do. And I do them regularly, because if you look at the nature of my work, I'm kind of leaned over a table like a chef might be leaning over a table chopping all day. I'm constantly working on a table that's at the perfect ergonomic height for me to use my weight to do the work. But what winds up happening is, my front muscles get stronger. And I have to make sure that I posture optimize by strengthening my back muscles and restoring the flexibility back to my hips.
Last year, I think probably about a fifth of my clients were massage professionals and physiotherapists and other body workers who were breaking themselves working on other people. And everybody forgets to look after themselves. I can clearly see you look after yourself, Aaron, because before we came on air, we were talking about what you were doing. You were working with the Olympics. The Los Angeles Olympics in the early 1980s. And frankly, folks, I've just turned 50, and Aaron looks probably half my age. So whatever you're doing, Aaron, it's working well.
When I was 26, I remember looking at a slide with my blood on it, and I knew enough about hematology that this was not the blood of a healthy person, and I decided then that in order to be as healthy as I would like to be, when I'm 50 or 60, I need to start now. And I decided to get healthier, 5% healthier every year for 20 years. And, as a matter of fact, it's a good thing that I had that strategy, because it's worked in my benefit. And so time went by, but I didn't age like people get old.
You're going to have to stop doing that. Otherwise, you're going to get so young, you're going to end up like a toddler and then going through the birth process again.
It's going to reverse, right?
They'll make a film about it. No, you're definitely looking well for your age. Okay, so we've got a good idea about what you think posture is, and I've got a good idea about how you help people, and we've talked about some of the ways online now that people can get help. So my final question is, for my listeners and those who aren't driving, obviously, if there's one thing that they could do right now to help with their posture, what would that be?
Okay. Improve your flexibility all over your whole body. But most important, strengthen your posture muscles. You have to make sure that if you have the balance of strength and flexibility that leaves you upright and enables your bones to do the work of weight bearing, then having great posture is easy and effortless for you.
Yeah, I'd agree. On the flexibility side, so many people at the moment they're focusing on strength and appearance for photographs, like on Instagram and stuff like that, and they are neglecting their flexibility, and it is having a very negative impact and will lead to injury if they're not careful. And just talking about aging, once you're past your 20s, you're out of warranty. If you don't start looking after your flexibility, it's downhill from there on.
Yes, and indeed. And back in the way back days, people used to say you should have good posture. And they even taught posture in the schools, but then they stopped doing it. In fact, here in the States, there used to be a contest of miscorrect posture, and the American Chiropractic Association used to host it every year. And I don't know how long they did it, but they stopped doing it in 1969, the year that Twiggy became, in the 60s when Twiggy became the role model for how people should look if they're going to be cute. But then, over the years, we've had an increasingly more sedentary lifestyle. So that's why I say good posture is not good enough. Good posture is what you can think of when your parents walk into the room. They say, sit up straight. You hold it for a little while, and then you go right back to where you were before, slouching. But that's why great posture should be the new model for having posture that sticks all the time and you don't have to think about it.
Particularly as we're heading into this age of virtual reality, people are going to be wearing virtual reality headsets. Mm-hmm. They're going to be lost in the internet, lost in their phones a lot more. I'm sure in years come by, me saying those words, I'll look like I'm something out of the 1800s. But if you've got natural good posture, then that should look after you during those periods of being in a virtual world.
Yeah, I absolutely. No matter what, people need to be in touch with their bodies, and they have to find a way to do that, whether it's some sport or some activity. And I'm not talking esports, and there are lots of great esports, but even then, taking time away from your game or having more people develop games that make you have better posture optimization, that should be a goal. You should be able to play your game with great posture and have it be part of the game.
Okay, so you're in Silicon Valley. All you have to do now is get some of those guys to build some games with you that are going to help people's posture as well.
One day somebody's going to be listening to me. Absolutely.
With regards to esports, I'm hoping to speak soon to a physiotherapist who works in esports called Violetta Ivanova. She's working. She's working with esports people who a lot of them are struggling dreadfully with posture and pain because they're lost in their game, and it's all about winning in the game, even if there's a physical cost there. So it'll be interesting to see what she's got to say about that as well.
Yes, indeed.
When I finish this podcast, I'm going to go and have my tea, and I'm just thinking before I have my tea, if there's one exercise that you would recommend that I did, what would that be? What's your favorite exercise?
My favorite exercise if I was going to give you only one, it's what I call the cross toe reach back. You have your feet apart about 2 shoulders plus apart, not quite 3 shoulders, but 2.5 shoulders is good. It's really wide. You're with your feet parallel, toes pointing forward. You take your right hand, you twist and reach down and touch and do what you can to reach your left ankle, and then you go upright. Swing your arms back simultaneously in both arms. Yank your chest open. What that does is restore flexibility to the anterior chest muscles, your pec major, pec minor, anterior deltoid, and anterior and biceps. But it also strengthens the muscles that pull and hold your shoulders back. And so you'll wind up strengthening rhomboids, trapezius, and latissimus dorsi, as well as erector spinae. So if you only had one exercise to do, it would be that one.
Okay, so I'd be better off doing that before I had my evening meal than immediately afterwards, by the sound of it.
Yes. Yes.
Aaron, that's really useful. You've talked over some really interesting points there. People want to find out more. Where would they go?
If you hit me back at Aaron@reposturing.com, Aaron@reposturing.com. That's 2 A's, RON at REPOSTURING.com. Then you'll get my email directly. If you go to my website, theposturegenius.com, you'll find quite a bit more information. You can follow me on Instagram. I'll be putting something out on Twitter soon. You can also follow me on Facebook as well.
Well, I hope that's been useful to our listeners, and it's been very, very informative and lots of fun speaking to you, Aaron. I'm just going to go and book my plane tickets now for a flight over to the west coast of the US and leave this dull northern weather behind here in the UK, and you can treat me to a nice meal on the beach, maybe. Something
it's been
like
a pleasure.
that.
Thank you so much.
It's been great speaking to you. Thanks so much for coming on. This has been the Posture Stars podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.